Now that we already saw the vocabulary, let's start with the exercise. Now, as you can see here, next to each one of the objects, we have a circle. Al lado de cada uno de los objetos tenemos un círculo. What we have to do is to write the first letter that begins the word. La primera letra que comienza la primera letra que comienza en la palabra, we have to write it and put it right here on the circles, okay? Tenemos que escribir la primera letra que inicia con la palabra, okay? So, in the case of seal, remember seal, foca. So, seal begins with the letter S. So, what's the letter that we have to write here? Letter S. Very good. Now, the mouse begins with the letter M. Now, I forgot to mention, my children, if you want to make this exercise along with the teacher, you have 5 seconds to grab your activity sheet of paper with the activity and the pencil case. Se me olvidó decirles que si quieren trabajar contra el teacher, tienen 5 segundos para ir por su hoja de actividades y su estuchera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. So, let's continue. After a small M for the mouse, let's continue. Now, the first letter that appears in the word apple is letter A. Now, the first letter that appears on the word helicopter, letter H. The first letter that appears on the word elephant, letter E. The first letter that appears on the word octopus, letter O. The first letter that appears on the word cat, letter C. The first letter that appears on the word jam, letter J. Also the letter of the teacher, Jacob. The first letter that appears on the word ball, small b. The first letter that appears on the word football, letter F. The first letter that appears on the word zebra, letter Z. The first letter that appears on the letter rocket, letter R. The first letter that appears on the word nest, letter N. The first letter that appears on the word ice cream, letter I. The first letter that appears on the word lion, remember, oh my God, I'm afraid, because remember lions are very dangerous. So I'm going to approach, I am going to approach carefully, con cuidado. Small letter. Okay. Now, you have to be very careful. The first letter that appears in the word umbrella, letter U. The first letter that appears on the word kite, letter K. The first letter that appears on the word violin, letter V. The first letter that appears on the word goat, letter G. And finally, the first letter that appears with the first letter that appears with the word quilt, small q. Very good. Excellent. Was it difficult? No, it was very, very easy. Okay? Now before we go, my children, let's review the vocabulary one more time. Remember, the teacher says it first, you repeat it. Seal, mouse, apple, helicopter, elephant, octopus, cat, jam. Remember the jam, mermelada. Ball, football, zebra, rocket. Remember the rocket, cohete, the one that we send through the space, el que mandamos al espacio. Nest, ice cream, lion, umbrella, kite, violin. Remember the violin, similar to a guitar but smaller. The goat. And finally, the quilt. One more time. Quilt. Remember the quilt in Spanish, colcha. So that's it for today, my children. Don't forget to do the activity of today. Have an excellent day. Take care. Goodbye.